What is vitamin D's surprising role in gene expression? Imagine your body as a busy city where genes are the buildings and vitamin D is the city planner. It does more than just help with bones. It actually helps decide which buildings get built or renovated. That's because vitamin D, in its active form called calcitriol, can directly influence how your genes work. When vitamin D enters your cells, it binds to a special protein called the vitamin D receptor. Think of this receptor as a switch that can turn genes on or off. Once activated, the receptor moves into the cell nucleus, where your DNA is stored. There, it finds specific spots called vitamin D response elements on your genes. When the receptor binds to these spots, it acts like a traffic controller, telling the cell which genes to activate or silence. This process influences many functions like how your immune system fights off bugs, how your cells grow, and how your body manages energy. The process starts when your skin makes vitamin D from sunlight or when you get it from foods or supplements. The vitamin D then gets converted into its active form mainly in your kidneys, but also in other tissues like immune cells. Once active, it binds to the vitamin D receptor inside the cell nucleus. This complex then interacts with your DNA, making certain parts more accessible by changing how tightly the DNA is packed. This change in DNA packaging is called chromatin remodeling, and it helps your body decide which genes to read and use. Vitamin D doesn't just turn genes on or off. It also influences the epigenome, which is like a set of chemical tags on your DNA and histone proteins. These tags can turn genes up or down without changing the actual DNA sequence. For example, vitamin D can modify DNA methylation and histone acetylation, which are like switches that control gene activity. These modifications are important for keeping your cells functioning properly and can be involved in preventing diseases. Plus, vitamin D helps regulate its own levels by controlling genes that produce enzymes responsible for activating or breaking down vitamin D. This feedback loop keeps everything balanced. It also controls the gene for the vitamin D receptor itself, making sure your cells respond correctly to vitamin D signals. For vegetarians, understanding this role highlights why getting enough vitamin D is so important. Plant-based diets often lack natural sources of vitamin D3, which is mainly found in animal products. Vegetarians can get vitamin D from fortified foods like plant milks and cereals, supplements, or safe sun exposure. Having enough vitamin D supports gene activity related to immune health, bone strength, and overall cell function. In short, vitamin D acts like a hormone that directly influences many genes by binding to the vitamin D receptor, changing how DNA is packaged, and affecting chemical tags on your genes. This regulation impacts your immune system, bone health, and cellular processes. For vegetarians, making sure you get enough vitamin D helps keep these gene functions working properly, supporting your overall health.